Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is November 21st, 2021, 8:45 a.m. We are here back with another market open. Thank you all for being here. We've got a lot to discuss today on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning on planet Earth. If you forgot where we are, well, we're on planet Earth. So on planet Earth. Wi-Fi should be good. Give it 1 second. Shouldn't be too much of a delay or any issue. If there is, you can let me know, but it should be fine. Today, we got to talk about a lot of things. We got to talk about Palantir. Palantir broke a 52-week high yesterday. We closed over $21. Incredibly exciting. I had some videos and pictures on Twitter I want to show you guys because it was really funny yesterday. Basically, I said that if Palantir closes over $21, you have to take a shot, referencing the common thing in America where when you turn 21, you get to drink. In Europe, I know you guys drink when you're like 12 years old and stuff, but like at least in America, we have some morals. And so some pictures from that was super funny. A lot of people participated. It was good. And on top of that, Palantir hitting the new 52-week high. It was awesome. Now, today, Palantir is down a little bit in the pre-markets, and we have some insider selling, which is basically what I thought was going to happen over the past couple of weeks, given the recent run-up. So I want to talk about the insider selling in Palantir. Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, came on CNBC yesterday and addressed what's going on with OpenAI. There's massive new developments in the story. I mean, this is absolutely insane. OpenAI is now trying to partner with Anthropic, which is their biggest LLM competitor. They create a product called Claude. Sam Altman might be going back to OpenAI because 700 of the 770 employees have basically said, we're going to quit OpenAI, and what's OpenAI without that talent, and go to Microsoft if OpenAI doesn't get him back. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on. And on top of that, we got equities that are down in the pre-market. And so we have a lot to discuss in regards to Palantir and Microsoft, what's going on with the macro. We've got SoFi right now. Where's SoFi in the pre-market? Because this one was a loser yesterday with all that green. SoFi is down again in the pre-market, 654. So we got a lot to discuss. Let's get into it. Let's see what we've got going on. Thank you all for being here. Miami Ren, good morning. The great one, where is Amit? Amit is right here. Good morning. Felicia, Edmund, Jesse, David, no NHS announcement. Yes, we also don't have the awaited NHS announcement that was supposed to come. Maybe it's like going to come in an hour or so, but definitely not here today. Ironing his shirt maybe, or counting his gains. I actually do iron my shirt now every day because I want to look good for you guys. So I think I'm going to go with the tie every day, bro. Like if I had a nice gold tie or white tie on this black shirt, it would look nice. So I like it. Troy Hull, Broccoli Bob, Marcus. Amit is still hungover from being 21. The funny thing is I didn't even drink. I drank some 0-calorie Gatorade because I don't drink. So I wanted to participate, but I just don't drink. So it was hard to do it. Growth Stock, Monty, Tobar, Garcia, Erwin. T says, bro, you are my morning. Thank you for being here. T means the world to me. Kelly, good morning. Wi-Fi is garbage. Fix your sizz. I got to get this Ethernet cable, man. But for now, I think it's all right. So we'll keep going. Duke Trillions, Kaios, Jocelyn, Carmen, Mike C, Biscuit Cat, Cash King, Valero, Mario, Edmund, Melinda. All right, folks, let's get into it. So Palantir. Let's start with that. We'll go with that for the beginning. And then we'll start talking from there. First of all, let me know in the chat. I mean, be honest. Don't lie. We're a community that doesn't lie. All of you guys are honest, right? Who sold some Palantir yesterday? Who took some profits? And who bought some Palantir yesterday? I was very close to buying. I'm not going to lie. I was very close. I was getting caught up in the FOMO as well. And then I stopped myself. I was like, wait a second. You know that at some point, I think valuation does matter and it could keep running, but I just didn't feel like the valuation was starting to be that attractive anymore. So I was going to buy, but then I didn't buy. I was like, you know what? Let me chill out for a bit. We got to talk about the price action on Palantir and the insider selling. So let's do insider selling first, because that's the bad news. And then we'll go through some Twitter pictures and then we'll see the good news, because the Twitter pictures were fun. The insider selling is not fun. So insiders sold a lot of shares. Let's just start off with that. Some people said they sold. Some people said they hold back to 16. I talked to a bunch of people yesterday, people that I trust. I was asking them their opinions on what's going on with Palantir. And so I got a lot of different perspectives on what was going on. So here's the insider sales. Let's start off with that. We got 5 of them. Okay. I got all 5 of them queued up and we got to discuss all 5 of these insider sales. So first, David Glazer, CFO of Palantir, 225,000 shares. And let's do the math right here. 4,852 851. So he profited 5 million off these bad boys, divided by 225,714. He sold them at $21.50. I think that's the same price for everybody because that was the same numbers I got for the other insiders. So $21.50, David Glazer, CFO, sells 225,000 Palantir shares. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is Mr. Stephen Cohen, who's on the board of Palantir, but I don't think he holds an executive role anymore, like in the day-to-day operations of the company. He also sold 405,000 shares at $8 million, $707,500. So, and we got more to go through, but like, I think what this like signals to the market, or at least to investors, retail investors, should be that the insiders did not do this at $12. They didn't do this at 13. They didn't do this at 14. I mean, some of them sold at 14, 15, but I think the insiders felt, oh my goodness, the market is giving us like this magic opportunity to offload some of these shares we've held for pennies. Like, these people got these shares for literally pennies 20 years ago. There's a lot of money to make. I don't think these are necessarily scheduled sales. I don't think it's just a 10.5B. It seems like it's on the open market. But I mean, yeah, if it was scheduled, I guess it just changed the dynamic a little bit. From what I'm looking at, it doesn't seem scheduled. All of it, like, yeah, it would say 10.15B somewhere around here. It doesn't say that. It just says sold 405,000 shares. So, I mean, regardless, if it was scheduled for 11:20, then they got a good ass schedule. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. Here's the next one. You got your boy Karp, 585,000 shares. He has been sold for 12.5 million. If I am reading these forms wrong, and these forms are for like exercising options or taxes, please let me know if someone's a little bit smarter at reading these. I was staying up last night with a friend of mine, and we were reading some of these, and I mean, it was pretty obvious. Like, they sold shares. There's nothing that... There's one of the forms I'm going to show you guys that I'm a little confused about, but 585,000 shares for Alex Karp, $21.50. He got $12 million. Probably going to have to pay, what, $6 million in taxes off of this. So that's $6 million. He's going to, I guess, buy some fancy stuff with. You guys are saying he's going to buy a bar, and you guys... he's going to do something. What would you do with $6 million? What would you do with $6 million? Is a lot of money. It's not a little bit amount of money. Okay, now we got Sham Sankar. If Karp's selling, Sham is selling. The rodeo continues. $7.5 million, 351,198 shares. So now Sham sold 350,000 of his shares. I'd buy more shares, buy acres of land. Kaiser says that's a lot of puffy jackets. They still have a ton of shares. Yes, that is correct. I mean, Karp at the end of the day owns like 63 million shares. He owns a lot of freaking shares, right? So this is not like a SoFi chief risk officer selling half his position. Like, if Sham sold like 10 million shares yesterday, I would be a little concerned. He sold 350,000. I'm like, all right, bro, it's not that crazy. But to me, I don't even care about the insider selling. Like, it's not about the insider selling to me. It's about why they're doing it right now and what that signals to the market. Because I'm already feeling like, look, maybe the stock is gaining a little bit of momentum very quickly. So I really don't care that they sold. Like, I genuinely don't care. You're going to have to take these profits, right? The chief risk officer selling 50% of his position at SoFi, that's what I care about. But my question is, if you're selling now, then maybe you think, it's getting a little pricey here. Ryan Taylor, I forgot what this guy does. He does something with like commercial business or something, but he's like one of the C-suites. He's on the calls, usually talking. He has like a crisp voice when he's like giving the overview to the earnings. He sold 147,000 shares and made $3.1 million. And then finally, we've got Karp again selling 325,000 shares. So this is the form I was confused about, because it says the nature of acquisition transaction, previously exercised stock options. So I think like, I'm not sure exactly. I don't think this is like he sold it on the open market per se. I mean, but he kind of did, because it's in that $21 range. So obviously it's from the open. It's on like these shares today. But I think these are from exercised options. Nonetheless, I still think it means you sold 325,000 shares. Because look, date you acquired on February 2021, he acquired these shares. So it's not just like shares he's had for a while. So I'm not exactly sure what this one is, but if that's true, that means Karp sold 900,000 shares yesterday. If this 325,000 is legitimately, shares being sold, even if it was acquired in 2021, and the 585,000 that he dumped on the market, that seemed common. That doesn't seem like it was acquired through any exercising of options. And regardless, even if this was exercised of options, you're still selling 325,000 shares of those options, right? So if I'm not wrong on that, then yeah, he sold a lot of shares. So why would they not wait a day for the NHS, sell the news? I think, it's a good question. The thing about the NHS is I think it's baked in, man. I really do. I know a lot of people think there's more room to run. And like the thing about when it's green, and I was talking to a lot of people last night about this, when stocks are green, like you kind of think they're not going to stop being green ever, right? And it takes a very disciplined approach that I've been trying to develop over the past 2 years of recognizing like, hey, wait a second, like things come back down and like it doesn't just go up forever. Now, maybe it can keep going up forever. Maybe for the next 5 months it keeps going up, but things do go down, right? And so at some level, the NHS to me is absolutely baked in. I mean, the premium we're getting today is not because we don't have the NHS, right? In fact, if we don't get the NHS, that is definitely not going to help. Palantir right now in the pre-market, where are we at? So I don't think they were waiting for the NHS at all. I think they knew that was going to be okay. Palantir, $20.94. So we're below 21, down 1.87%. Macro is down. So obviously Palantir is down, but I think the insider selling, so far, by the way, down another 1.13%. I think the insider selling got some people to think a little bit more about like, hey, maybe it's up a little bit. NHS soon is the new 2 weeks, probably bounce with buybacks. This is another good topic. So let me talk about this, and I'll show you guys some Twitter videos yesterday about everyone being drunk off $21. Someone asked me, do you think they're doing buybacks? My answer is no, bro. I don't think Palantir is doing buybacks. At $20, remember, they need the cash for net interest income. They need that money to put into treasuries. So if you have $3 billion and you're like, all right, we're going to do $1 billion of buybacks, like I'm not a rocket scientist, but that means you only have $2 billion left to put into short-term treasuries, which means if your operating income doesn't produce actual GAAP profits for the business, right? In terms of like income from operations, or even if it does, if it's not growing quarter over quarter, then you need that 40, 50 million you're getting from treasuries to be able to build out the actual income of the business itself. So right now, the market has priced Palantir for a lot of growth that they have not shown, quite frankly. That's not bad. That just means that they have to show the growth. That just means that the potential of the company is, you're giving a big bet on the potential of the company before they show that growth. You're baking it into the stock price before it happens. But that growth is just not there, right? I mean, they're profitable because of net interest income. And so I don't think they're doing buybacks either because, number one, I think they're like, hey, we think this is just some momentum. It's probably going to come back down. We can get into a better price. Number two, if they spend $1 billion on buybacks, that $1 billion is gone from the interest income, right? So I don't think they're doing buybacks, bro. I really don't. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're doing the buybacks. Tyler Slove says, don't forget these insiders have been holding for years. If these sales aren't scheduled on the contracts, they are sold because they want to get their hard work paid for, maybe estate plan. I agree, Tyler, and I have zero problem with that. My only issue, and issue is even a harsh word, my only concern is they're doing it at these levels, which is signaling to the market that, hey, maybe it's a top. That's all I care about. I don't care about the selling at all. Because honest, if it was like $13, I'd be like, why are you selling at 13? But if at 21, I'm like, I can understand you selling at 21, right? I get it. Like you're seeing the rise in the momentum. Palantir is up 234% year to date. It's up 46% in the past month. I mean, if I was an insider in a company, I'd probably be like, I'm going to take some off the table right now. Like, goodness gracious, right? No matter how bullish I am about the company, because these opportunities might not come again, or they might take years for that to come again. So that's why I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it is signaling to retail investors like, dude, everyone that bought yesterday at $21.50, they just got those shares dumped on them by people selling it to them. I have a friend in a group chat, and someone screenshot it on Twitter, buy more shares at $21.45. They bought like 4,000 shares, whatever. And my friend in the group chat who sold 1,100 at like $21.30, whatever, he was like, this bitch just bought my shares. I was like, oh my gosh, bro. Some of these people, they're just buying it at they're buying it literally at a theoretical top. And Karp sold you those shares, Sham sold you those shares, David Glazer sold you those shares, Stephen Cohen sold you those shares. So a lot of people ended up selling those shares onto the market. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. But overall, stock is down a little bit. We'll see how the market performs. Maybe the market likes it, maybe the market doesn't. Nvidia earnings today, we got to talk about that because that might have implications for Palantir as well. So we got to discuss all that stuff. Amid 3 hours ago, they announced the NHS deal. Did they? Did they actually? I'm going to type in NHS Palantir on Google. It's not official yet. No, or like maybe Benzinga would have announced it, but I don't see it Yeah, I don't see it on Guardian or Digital Health yet. I'm like, we know they got it, right? Like, we know it's happening. It's just not announced literally yet. So I don't know. I guess unless you have a link, Adam, let me see, and then I can check that out. But I don't see it on any of the fair links. Okay, quick thing, and then we'll go on to some more, macro stuff. Let's have a little fun moment because we just dealt with all that selling. Here's some fun photos we had yesterday. This was me. Yeah, I look crazy, bro. That hair looks wild. We were celebrating closing at 21. It was a community thing. So here's a bunch of people. We'll look at that video later. But here's a bunch of people drinking. There you go. You got more people drinking, enjoying it. Random people around the world enjoying Palantir at $21. People in their Palantir hoodies. This was awesome, bro. It was so cool to see. Look at that. This dude's on the beach just drinking, enjoying it, having fun, drinking. You look at that. You got a group of people at a bar drinking, celebrating Palantir at $21. You got this guy drinking. You got this guy making fun of me. This guy drinking Coke. It was awesome. It was great. So I loved everyone who participated in this. I said I don't drink, as you can see here. And then I kind of got exposed right here, as you can see. I was at a bar with someone. Her name might be Kelly. And we have this video of me drinking. But that was the only time I drank in like 2 years. It was in Vegas. So that's, yeah. So, but I don't drink anymore outside of that. And then after that, I had to post this meme. I mean, this was just too good of a meme. This was just great. Like, I think this was one of the best memes I've ever posted in my entire life. The caption is, when she wants you to pay attention to her, but you can't stop staring at Palantir crack through $21. I mean, like, goodness gracious, how good of a caption can you get? Because look at me. Look at the intensity at which I'm staring. It was a basketball game at the time. But, like, it basically looks like I'm like, oh, my God, Palantir is going to $21. Like, I can't believe it. And then you got this just, like, gorgeous creature just, like, looking at me with all the love in the world, right? So you got me staring at Palantir going to $21, and then you got Kelly just, like, basically in love with me, honestly, staring like she's in love with me. It was just a great caption. It was just absolutely a phenomenal caption. So if you guys want to caption that picture or anything, take that picture. It's on my Twitter, and give it your best caption, and I'll like it and I'll respond to it, because it was just such a good caption. It was such a good caption. All right, so let's get into some more macro stuff. So we talked about Palantir. We talked about all that insider selling. Let's discuss the Sam Altman drama getting worse. Emmanuel says, bro, where are your hands? Let me make something clear, okay? Everyone has a nasty mind, and they thought, oh, her hands aren't in the picture. Guys, her hands were just like on the other side of the bar or of the counter. Like, you guys are so crazy. You guys, I can't believe I didn't even think of that as a potential comment. And everyone's like, where are her hands? I'm like, her hands? I don't know. But like, why are you guys asking that? Like, it's just crazy. You guys are wild. All right. So Sam Altman, let's listen to Microsoft CEO talk about what's going on with the Sam Altman drama. He basically avoided every question yesterday, didn't answer a single thing, and was just like, yeah, we like love Sam, and like we hope that he's going to be in a good situation, and we'll be okay. So let's listen to him, and then we're gonna get some more analysis on this OpenAI situation, because it's getting crazier by the second, and there is still not a resolution to it yet at all.
I want to get to our own John Ford is sitting down with Microsoft CT.
With OpenAI's leadership in turmoil. So first I got to ask, is Sam Altman going to be a Microsoft employee?
Yeah, I mean, we are on Friday morning, John, I got up and I was very committed to our, customers and confident in our technology roadmap, and really partnered with OpenAI and really partnered with Sam. And here, as we speak on Monday, I guess it is today, it's exactly the same place I am, which is I feel that we have all the technology and capability to keep innovating on the products you saw at our Ignite conference last week, up and down the stack from silicon to co-pilots, and committed to OpenAI and Sam. And that's, irrespective of what configuration, obviously, we want Sam and Greg to have a fantastic home if they're not going to be in OpenAI and all the colleagues at Microsoft. But, I am exactly where I was on Friday morning.
Well,
okay. So basically he didn't say shit, right? And the interviewer kept asking him like, yeah, but is Sam Altman joining? And he was like, well, we really care about the Microsoft ecosystem. And he's like, yeah, but like, where's Sam Altman going? And he's like, well, my job is to be a CEO. It's like, dude, you didn't answer anything, right? So let's get some other coverage on where OpenAI CEO is trying to, or where Sam Altman's trying to go, what OpenAI is trying to do. But Satya Nadella yesterday did not offer any clarity. And honestly, I can't blame him, right? He's kind of has to be vague. But let's see what he's actually trying to do when it comes to Sam Altman.
Editor-in-chief of The Verge, as soon as he can.
Driven individual. He wants to build this technology. He wants to advance the state of the art in AI and for humanity. And he's working hard to go back to OpenAI. That is what I understand today. That Bloomberg just matched our reporting late last night, saying that the board continues to negotiate with Altman and his camp. The board has to step down. That is a condition that Sam has put on this. So out of the 4 people who voted to remove Sam on Friday, 1 has flipped. Ilya Sutskever, the chief scientist, has flipped in the Sam's camp. The 85, 90% of OpenAI employees have signed a letter saying they will quit and go to Microsoft if Sam doesn't come back. There's 3 people in between that outcome and Sam returning to OpenAI. And so we'll just see what happens today. But negotiations are furious today. Satya Nadella was on CNBC last night. He did not answer affirmatively when John Ford asked him directly if Sam Altman was coming to Microsoft, because it is still very much an open question.
Let me ask you this, though. You know, one of the things we haven't really gotten underneath this story about is clearly there have been concerns among some board members about how fast this technology is developing and what kind of controls are in place. That's what led to this. Now, maybe those board members were misguided. I don't think we know yet. Maybe you have a better sense of it. But clearly at this point, somebody's come to the realization that either the technology is moving too fast and you weigh that against the company not existing and you decide you want the company to exist rather than it moving too fast. But what do you think was actually happening on the other side?
Yeah, I think that idea that the technology was moving too fast and gave the board pause, and that is why they had to immediately fire Sam on Friday with no notice to anyone, including Microsoft. I think that as time has gone by, that has proven to not be true, right? The various members of the board, like Ilya, have said that's not true. Emmett Shear has said, he's the interim CEO. He has said to the staff, that's not true. There's no malfeasance here. There's no security concern. He has said, I wouldn't have joined the company even for the 48 hours he's been there if they weren't going to commercialize the models. The board has not provided any documentation of their reasoning to anyone, to Microsoft, to the other investors, to Emmett Shear, to Sam Altman. No one really knows why they made this decision.
This is really interesting to me. I did not know this. So apparently, Nilay Patel is actually a really good reporter at The Verge, so I kind of trust what he's saying here. His argument is that the trust and safety concerns, which all of us were theorizing that OpenAI was commercializing their products too fast, and as a result of that, Sam Altman, who was trying to like make a lot of money and like commercialize, go to market, etc., was being punished, and that's why he got ripped off the board, because he's trying to make too much of a profit off a nonprofit. It seems like that's not the concern, because Emmett Shear, the new interim CEO, who is the former Twitch CEO, said he would not have joined the company in the past 48 hours if there was not a plan to commercialize the product. So if the only reason the new CEO is joining is because of the plans of commercialization, which makes sense, right? And Sam Altman wasn't fired because of commercialization, then I guess the question is, why the hell was he fired? You know, it actually points to the larger story that was reported by Semaphore on Friday night when this all broke, was that there was an internal investigation and ethics were involved in terms of the dismissal of Sam Altman. Now, what the heck are those ethics? What was he doing? What did he not explain? What did he not disclose? What did they find out about him? Like, I mean, there's an argument here that's I think Elon's definitely not wrong here. You know, I think people are writing off Elon's concerns. Elon is like, wait a second, why did you get rid of him? Because now Ilya, one of the board members that got rid of Sam Altman, he came out on Twitter yesterday. Let me just see if I can find the tweet as well. And he said, I'm sorry for like voting him off the board. And it was just like, what? You were one of the 6 votes that got this guy off the board. And now look what you said. I deeply regret my participation in the board's actions. I never intended to harm OpenAI. I love everything we built together. And I will do everything to reunite the company. They got 25 million views. People are just like, did ChatGPT write this? Like, what the hell is going on? What is this? So Ilya now like is sad for what he did, but why'd you do it in the first place? And apparently they didn't do it because of commercialization concerns, because of profit concerns. So what did Sam do that got you guys so scared you had to get him off the board of the company? And I think the reason they're only getting him back, quite frankly, I don't think they want to get him back. I think they saw their $86 billion go poof. And they're like, wait a second, we like $86 billion. Sam, just come back. Money makes the world go round, man. You can be all nonprofit as you want. Money makes the world go round. So this is incredibly interesting to see how this is playing out. Think Real, thank you for the $20 super chat so much. Keep up your hard work amid Go Palantir. Thank you so much. Think Real means a lot. $20 is a lot of money. These streams don't make that much money. They make $25 sometimes. So thank you, Think Real. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ahmad says board got bored. Release the fireworks. Could be that as well. Imnop says there's a board member that is twisting arms. I think that's also something else that's going on. The board member said, I'm sorry. Basically, the board member said, I'm sorry. If you are just joining the market open, the first thing we discussed during the stream is Palantir. Palantir is down about 2% this morning. Shares are at $20.86 from a high of $21.50 yesterday. Insiders sold shares at the top. Shyam Sankar sold 387,000 shares. Alex Karp sold about 900,000 shares. Stephen Cohen sold about 405,000 shares. David Glazer sold about 225,000 shares. And the other guy whose name I'm forgetting sold about 147,000 shares. So there were a lot of shares, about 1.5 million that were dumped on the market yesterday, and people bought them up. So we'll see how Palantir price action results as a result because of that. NHS deal still not out yet. And Sam Altman still isn't part of OpenAI or Microsoft. It's kind of all in the air. So we will see what goes on. Charles says, insiders have been waiting for this day. You can't blame them for selling. They will continue to free or discounted shares. Taking profits is no big deal. I agree. I will say it again. My concern is not at all with the selling. My concern is selling at this price, which means that as a retail investor, I have to be a little bit smarter and realize, maybe, the price is getting a little higher. And as a result of that, the insiders are taking their profits. And so maybe I should think twice before I want to buy again at these levels. So apparently Sam Altman just did an interview. Yeah, wow. Sam Altman just did an interview with the New York Times. Look at that. Oh, man, we don't have time to run through that because there's just a lot of stuff there. Look at that. It just came out. 8 minutes ago, Sam Altman does an interview with the New York Times. This is about 40 minutes. Wow. This is a lot. This is a lot of time. This is actually more than 40 minutes. So I guess he exposed or he talked about a lot of stuff in this interview, I would imagine. And maybe he cleared up some noise. Again, the biggest thing is this, like, even his perspective is going to be really interesting because why did the board get rid of him? What did they see that they didn't like? And what is he going to frame the narrative on in order to, make an argument for? One of the things about Sam Altman that I think people have to remember, this is the guy who came up with WorldCoin. Do you guys remember what WorldCoin is? It's a cryptocurrency that takes a biometric a reading of your retina, and then it establishes a relationship to you. If you try to buy something, it has that documented in a database. It's like really freaky, bro. And I don't care too much about it, but when I talked with Carlos about it a couple months ago, he was just telling me how insane this kind of a concept is, that like a private company can have a database of your retina. I'm like, it sounds kind of 1984ish, right? It doesn't sound the best. So the idea that Sam Altman was trying to pursue that on top of the fact that he is pursuing this open source LLM ecosystem, it's really weird, a lot of the shit he's doing. One could argue that if you're doing this WorldCoin shit, you definitely have some motives that are maybe not the most ethical on the OpenAI side of things. And we don't know. Maybe the board knows, and maybe we don't, or maybe I'm reading too much into it, and maybe the board is just whatever. Maybe those motives aren't that bad, but it's definitely weird, right? It's definitely weird. So we'll see what ends up happening, but we got to find out the truth. Why was he ousted? I agree with Elon. Why was he ousted? I want to know why that happened, because if we don't know why that happened, then this will be a mystery that goes on for a very, very long time. Sam did something fraudulent or scammy. That's why when you didn't hear why a board fires people. Yes, but the thing about the OpenAI board is that they're stupid. They're not made up of like real people. They're made up of all these like people that are not VCs. They're not entrepreneurs. They're just like, AI safety enthusiasts. They're not like the board of directors. Remember, it's a nonprofit. It's not like if this was a venture-backed company, a VC would be on that board, a venture capitalist who would have a say in terms of how if Microsoft had a board seat, Sam Altman would not be gone. But Microsoft couldn't get a board seat because they invested in a nonprofit. In fact, I found out yesterday, the only reason Microsoft was able to put $13 billion into OpenAI was because it's a nonprofit. And if they tried to do it in like a business relationship, the antitrust laws, the SEC, you know, the FD, all these guys would have been like, no, there's no way. You can't put 13 billion into this OpenAI. No way, we're not letting you. Because it's technically acquiring 49% of the company, right? That is an acquisition that has to go through all the legal frameworks that an acquisition has to go through. So, I mean, Microsoft got super strategic here, and now if Microsoft is able to get Sam Altman from this, that is also beneficial for them. Irwin's a super villain. Yeah, it could be super villain. Ryan says the board is all LLMs. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the board was just like, you know what? We've calculated that we got to get rid of this guy because we're tired of him. All right, so let's move on to some more macro stuff and see what's going on in the broader markets. We got 15 minutes until market open. Thank you all for being here today. Let's bring up some of these charts. We got to talk in video, folks. You know we got to talk in video. Anthony says, Amit, watch the first episode of Attack on Titan, then tell me anime is for kids. Okay, maybe I spoke too quickly on Finest Junkies yesterday. It's not that anime is for kids, because I know a lot of adults watch anime and they like it and all that stuff. The problem is I can't watch anime because I just can't watch cartoons, bro. And I know it's not a cartoon, even though it's animated, right? That's the whole point. Even though you want to sound fancy and say anime, it's animated content, which is a cartoon at the end of the day, even if it's a fancier cartoon. But I just like, if I have time to watch something, honestly, bro, if I have time to watch something, I'm not going to kid you right now. I listen to stuff about politics. Like that's what I listen to. I don't talk that much about politics on the stream. I listen to a lot of political shit, bro. I have a wide array of political. I listen to the news, bro. I like the news. And you know, it's funny because it goes back to when I was like 8 years old, 12 years old. Before I would go to school, I would watch Good Morning America. And my mom would be so happy of me because she was like, because I would tell her what's going on in the world. And she was like trying to encourage that good behavior of like being a well-informed citizen or whatever. And then I got to high school and I just stopped caring about the news because I think I just started caring about girls more or whatever. And I would like be sad if some girl didn't text me back or like, you know, all that dumb shit. And then when I got out of high school and I started getting back into college, I like learning more about the news. And now I have like a day-to-day schedule where I'm an adult and I listen to the news. I like the news. I like the news a lot. I care about the news. Who are you voting for? Haha. Not falling into that trap, Sam John, because that shit will just ruin everything. So yeah, I don't want to get political because there's no value to being political. It's funny. It's ironic because I'm like, oh, I watch a lot of politics stuff, but I don't like being political because it's true. Like when you're political, everyone gets pissed off. But I do enjoy listening to the content. It's because, I don't know, I like to know about the world. So let's see what's going on in the macro. We got a bunch of stuff here. Oh, wow. NVIDIA's 500. I didn't know NVIDIA crossed 500 yesterday. It ended at 504. Wow. NVIDIA in the pre-market's $500. Either they're going to tank from that 500 level or they're going higher. And I have a weird feeling they might go higher. I think their earnings are going to kill it. We're going to go through their earnings preview in a second, but NVIDIA right now, 500. Tesla's down a little bit, 234. PayPal, 56.59. Meta at 338. We got JP Morgan at 153. Bank of America, Truist down. Everything's red. Even if it's red slightly, everything's red in the pre-market. Let's look at the 10-year. Why is everything red? What's going on with the 10-year? 10-year right now is down. Okay, so that's good. 10-year is at 4.418. So 10-year is down. Oil has been coming up a bit over the past couple of days. Oil today, oil is down. Okay, that's good. So Brent is down. WTI is down. $81 on Brent, $77 on WTI crude. So oil is down. The 10-year is down. Why are stocks down? Oil is down and the 10-year is down. Why are stocks down? I think I have a reason, and the reason isn't a good reason, but the reason is that the market is trying to cool off a little bit. I mean, we've had a hell of a run. We're at 454 on the S&P, for goodness sakes. Right now, 453 in the pre-markets. I think the market's taking a breather, folks. I think that's what's happening today. The market's taking a little bit of a breather because 10-year and oil coming back down is good. And look, maybe this thing turns green when the market opens, but market's definitely taking a little bit of a breather right now. Palantir down 2%, $20.92. You know, I think Palantir could go either way. I think Palantir could spike right back up into the $21 range as soon as the market opens, because we've seen that happen many times, or it gaps downwards to like 19, 18. Again, if you're just joining, Insider sold about 1.5 million shares of Palantir yesterday. And I think a lot of people are going to see those sells. And they're going to think, you know, do I really want to buy when the insiders just sold at this level? Remember, insider selling is usually an opportunity that allows that the market gives, because there's upwards momentum either from institutional investors or retail investors. And as a result of that, you get, the opportunity to offload your shares. The problem is once you do it, everyone finds out and they're like, all right, so if you're offloading your shares, why are you doing it, buddy? Right. And people start thinking like maybe this price is not as attractive as it is today. So let me show you guys the picture again. I want to see some of the comments. Let's look at this is real-time data we can get on what people are thinking about CARP selling 585,000 shares at $21.50. Vitaly said it's for a mansion and taxes, end of year tax sales. Now he has fewer shares to sell. What percentage of holdings does that represent? Creating bag holders. I don't know if it's necessarily end of year tax sales. I don't think that's the case, guys. He sold another 325,000 as well. So I don't think this is just for taxes. And also, I don't know if he's paying that many shares. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we got to look deeper into it. Maybe it is just for taxes. But from what I understand, when I was looking at the forms, it doesn't look like he's selling just for taxes. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Definitely not end of year. Yeah, Martin, I agree. I'm like, that's too many shares for end of year taxes. That's like, I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong, but no, I don't think it's for tax. I think he's selling because he's taking, like Peter Thiel did not sell for taxes. He sold 2 million shares at 1994 because he wanted to take some profits. So yeah, that's what's going on with Palantir. FOMC meetings today. That is correct. FOMC meetings today are there as well. So we'll talk about that once they come out later today, probably on Finance Shookies. Let me pull up one of the tweets that I wanted to show you guys on NVIDIA. So here we go. This is what NVIDIA is expected today. And if they do this, either the street's priced it in or the street gets more excited. NVIDIA is estimated to report revenues of $16 billion in its Q3 report, up 172% year over year and 19% quarter over quarter. Net income is estimated at $7.69 billion, just absolutely insane. 46% margin for GAAP EPS of $3.39 a share, up 1,156% year over year and 35.6% quarter over quarter. I remember when NVIDIA was like under 300 that day in March, and they had the first of many earnings of the past 3 earnings where they just crushed it, and the stock just like went to 430 or something after hours. That type of growth you don't see often in a company. I mean, we talk about growth stocks. This is the type of growth you just never see. I mean, not you never see, but I mean, it's once in a while companies, right, that it can grow like this. We're hoping Palantir one day could grow like this, right? I mean, we'll see. It's going to be tough to grow like that, but this is the type of growth you're expecting, or at least some type of growth like this. Tesla at one point was growing like this. Tesla doesn't grow as much as this anymore, right? Because Tesla's a little bit more mature company, and eventually NVIDIA will not be able to grow like this, right? It's just going to be too hard to beat the numbers. But if they do keep growing at this, like, right now it's 171% year over year. Imagine it starts going to like 100%, 80%, 90%. These are still incredible numbers that are just like jaw dropping. And there's just not that many companies. For the people are like, why does NVIDIA get this premium valuation? Because there's not that many companies that can do this. There's just not that many companies that can have this type of impact on the broader ecosystem of society, which is why they're going to get a premium. Because at the end of the day, if they're not going to get the premium, who the hell is going to get the premium? Like, it's either going to be NVIDIA or it's going to be, some crappy company. And why would you give a crappy company the premium when NVIDIA is growing 172% year over year? It's absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I think that NVIDIA earnings are going to be important. Now, the question is, what are NVIDIA earnings going to do to some of these third derivative order companies like Palantir, Snowflake, Datadog? If NVIDIA kills it, I could see Palantir getting a bump in the after hours, bro. I mean, we'll see what happens today. Palantir right now down about 2%. We'll see where the market takes it. Now it's at $21 pre-market, so it's down 1% now. Palantir right now at $21. It's just that below $21. So if Palantir has a good day in the markets and NVIDIA has a great earnings and NVIDIA goes up and the market wants to give Palantir that premium, Palantir will go up. So we'll see. But if NVIDIA has a crappy earnings, maybe Palantir, doesn't go up as much as well. They're not even trading that rich. That's a good point by Nate. NVIDIA's at a 48 PE. Palantir's at an 80 forward PE. So, they're not going to be trading. They're not even trading as expensive as Palantir, which is great because the growth is there. Because the growth is great. David says, Mitt, are you sure that CARP is 36 million shares? The document said it's 2.5. No. That document is referring to overall outstanding shares that you're looking at. And also it's not 2.5 million, it's 2.5 billion. That document, the SEC filing, is referring to overall shares in general of the company. because if you look at Shyam Sankar's forms as well, it also says the same thing. So let me just check to make sure. Yeah, it's the same thing. So if you look at any of those SEC forms, it's when it says number of shares or other units outstanding, it's talking about the entire shares in the company, not the shares of the person who's selling. You have to go to like fintel.io to look at the actual shares that the person has. So yeah, he has like 30 something million shares. Class A, I think it's like 63 million. Class B, he has a bunch of shares like that. Amit, do you think Palantir is buying back shares? No, I disagree with Jeremy on this. I disagree. We got 5 minutes until the market open, folks. I think the reason I disagree is because Palantir is only profitable because of their net interest income from the cash reserves that they have on the treasuries, short-term treasuries, right? If Palantir takes, let's say, 500 million, forget it, 250 million, and they bought back shares. First of all, why the hell would you buy back at? It's obviously overextended. I don't think you would be buying back at $21. I just don't think that's happening. I could be wrong. I don't think that's happening. Number two, if you take away any money from those short-term treasuries, you are reducing the net interest income you have on your books when you show your earnings. So Palantir made, I think, like 40 million from net interest income last quarter off the treasury bills, and that's when they had 3 billion or something in cash. That's like 5% or whatever they got. If they reduce that number, if they're not making a profit from the actual business, like income from operations, which I think last quarter was like 29 million or something, then they're not going to show GAAP EPS to be higher quarter over quarter, which means the street's not going to like it, right? At this point, you've got to artificially get your EPS to be higher. Either you buy back shares or you do all this, fancy treasury bill stuff to be able to get the income to get higher. I don't think they're buying back shares right now. In fact, if the insiders are selling shares, right, if they weren't buying back shares at $8, they're not buying back shares at 21. I think at 15, 16, they might buy back shares. But also, if you reduce that income, then you're not going to have that income from the treasuries. So any money they put into shares means less EPS for the company, unless the share buybacks are so substantive, which, given the momentum that we're seeing, the volume we're seeing, I don't think they need to be buying back shares to create a floor to the stock. I think the market has created a floor. Retail or institutional has created a floor already at this $20, $21 price that I don't really think Palantir needs to do it. Like Enphase, for example, to stop the bleeding, should buy back shares, right? Because they've authorized 900. But Palantir, there's no bleeding. They don't need to stop the bleeding. The company's fine. So I don't think they did it, but we'll find out next quarter if they did. Amid NVIDIA a report out after trading hours. Yes, NVIDIA report out after trading hours, and we will discuss what happens with them. We got 2 hours, or sorry, not 2 hours, 2 minutes, folks, until the market open. SoFi is down again. I was talking to one of my boys yesterday who has 10,000 shares of SoFi, and he was just like starting to get a little worried about SoFi. So, I think if it gets down to $5, I'm not buying the dip. Let it get. I already have a little bit of SoFi here. Let it get to $5 if it gets there. Then I'll buy the dip. I'm not going balls deep in this buying opportunity. I have zero FOMO of wanting to buy the dip on SoFi, because at the end of the day, I'm just like, you know what? They got to prove some shit, because the whole market can't be green and then they're red. There's some market sentiment that's shifting, and it shifted incredibly quickly when it comes to SoFi. So let's give them some time. Maybe we get back to that $4 or $5 price and we get a chance. Maybe this is the dip. Overall, I have SoFi. I have a SoFi position, so I don't care. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, that's fine. I'll get more when it really goes down. But it's struggling right now at this price. It is. This has been a great rally, and SoFi is just like stuck at this price. So we'll see what happens from there. DNA $1.53. Enphase 98. Let's see if Kathy bought anything yesterday. We got a minute until market open. Let's check her sales or her buys real quick. Yesterday was a green day, so she probably didn't buy much, because when it's green, she doesn't buy too much. There were no trades on November 20th. So she's sitting back and she's letting her portfolio rock out, and she's not buying at all. Let me go to ARKKK real quick. ARKKK is at $44. It's at 44 in the pre-market. It's up. It was up from like $25 this year, $29. So the ETF's doing well. Obviously, if you zoom out, the ETF's not doing that well, but if you got in at the bottom of the ETF, then it's doing a lot better. Big thing today is going to see, where does the market take NVIDIA before earnings? Where does the market take Palantir now that insiders have sold shares on the market? Where's the market taking SoFi? Disney's had a run up. Enphase almost touched $100 yesterday. A lot of stuff to see. Thank you all for being here. 910 people. We are back November 21st, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, the stock market is now open. Wake your ass up. Here we go. Look at Palantir. Not bad at all. $21.23. So it was down. It was down at $20.90 right in the pre-market, and boom, jumps right back up to $21.22. The volume is 3.98 million as soon as the bell rings. 4 million now. So a lot of buying pressure was there, ready to buy up these shares as it got down to $20.90. There is volume coming into this company that is not that explainable. And I don't really think it's institutional. I do think it's a bit more retail, but it's coming in. People are piling in and they're ready to buy some more Palantir. We'll get back to Palantir in a second. Amazon, 143 down 1.92%. SoFi, 657 down 0.68%. Disney, 94.89 coming up from 79 last week, 0.22% down. They have that new activist investor that is helping out Disney here and getting the market to be more excited. Target is green, 129.80. Enphase, 97.77. Again, it was at 99 yesterday. Just incredible price action from Enphase, down from 72 now to 97. If it holds these levels and it breaks through 100, that'll be really great for Enphase shareholders, getting back to that $100 level. NVIDIA, $500, just hit $499 as I click on it, but NVIDIA was at $500 as the market opened. We will see what their earnings project in the next couple of hours. AMD, 119. AMD also having a fantastic run this year. S&P 500, 453, down a little bit. Tesla, 234, down a little bit. We have to talk about some Elon news as well. Elon is suing a company called Media Matters for basically falsely creating the narrative that, Twitter has hate content and that advertisers' content is being promoted next to it. So we're going to be talking about that. Meta at 338, 52-week highs. PayPal, 56.55. XLF, banking sector is green. Truist is down a little bit. Bank of America is down. JP Morgan is down. Verizon is green. Verizon crosses $37 today. Verizon has been on a tear over the past couple of weeks. Verizon from $29 now to $37. A lot of people were saying, were the shorts covering on Palantir? Palantir now at $21.29. I think yes, to some extent the shorts were covering. I don't know how much the shorts are going to keep covering, but I definitely think the shorts were covering a little bit when it came to Palantir. Now Palantir is green. Look at that. 21.35. Again, the momentum in this company, something is happening, and maybe it's institutional, maybe it's retail, but like the shares are just getting eaten up. I mean, insiders dump 1 million shares and the market really doesn't give a shit. They're like, well, all right, we'll just eat it up. There's more than enough volume to subsume those shares that people sell. So either something changed, either there's the heavy players or the market's just super excited about the growth. But I mean, it's green. I mean, the at this point, the market's like, you know what? We're going to give Palantir the premium. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he said, some companies never trade like they're supposed to trade when it comes to valuation. And he's like, he thinks Palantir is just becoming one of those companies that's just always going to be a bit overextended, a bit, valued richly, but it just doesn't matter because it's something special where people just want to own this stock. And that's great for us. That's really good for us, right? But at the end of the day, that's kind of the momentum that's going on with Palantir. Bitcoin, 36,887. Coinbase, 104. Robinhood, $8.10. Robinhood getting more attractive to me. I did buy some Robinhood options yesterday. I bought the 2026 options on Robinhood. I think Robinhood's like one of the cheapest stocks in the markets. It's just that simple. I think it's just ridiculously cheap at this point. I was talking to someone else who bought 20,000 shares of Robinhood. I'm doing a lot of due diligence. I didn't go deep into the options because I want to really have conviction before I pull the trigger and put in a decent amount of money. But dude, I just think at $8, even if it goes to $11, I'm going to print, like it doesn't have to double. It can go from 8 to 11. And my question is, can it go from 8 to 11? The thing about Robinhood that's so interesting, I said it yesterday on the market open, they were trading at $11 billion market cap in their private round of funding in 2020. Now they're at a $6.9 billion. So they're down $4 billion. They've grown 27% year over year since that has happened. And on top of that, I was looking at the numbers yesterday. I was really trying to get a good understanding of the numbers. The enterprise value is trading at like 1-to-1 with the market cap. Right. So there's like almost zero premium when you take in cash and cash equivalents and the cash on hand. And then you factor in what the market cap is. Like the market has literally traded this bad boy of cash. The bottom on Robinhood was $7.12 in June of 2022. And since then, they have massively decreased stock-based compensation. They have bought back about 55 million shares. Revenues have increased pretty nicely. Net interest income is there. Their gold members have increased. They have 1.3 million people paying $5 a month for their services. Like, it's just, there's a lot of momentum I'm seeing on the growth where I'm just like, the valuation on this is starting to just feel stupid. And the only concern I have is that when interest rates go down, can transaction revenues go up? Because when interest rates go down, Robinhood, who's making 51% of the revenues based on interest rates, their cash pile loses less of its momentum, because then like you can't make that much money off of it. Shopify at $69 right now because, if interest rates go to 4%, your $6 billion in cash doesn't print that much revenue. But if transaction revenues go up and the company itself is expanded, like in the UK and all the stuff they're trying to do, the growth should be there. So I don't know, man. Robinhood is just looking like it's fucking stupid at $8, in my opinion. So a lot of people are comparing it to SoFi, right? The problem with SoFi is they're a bank. This is like, and I'm not saying that to be facetious. If we have delinquencies, that's not helping SoFi, right? If we have a credit crisis, that's not helping SoFi. Now, I get it. That's not great for Robinhood either. I'm just saying, like, it's also, SoFi is very prone to a lot of these things that happen in a recession that Robinhood doesn't have to deal with because they are a bank. You know what I mean? Because SoFi is a bank. So I get it. SoFi is also a great deal. I'm not saying SoFi is not a bad deal. Yesterday, Chris pointed out that, SoFi was valued at they had a $10 billion buyout offer in 2019, $10 billion buyout offer, and they rejected it. And now the company is worth $6 billion, which is insane, right? Because someone was willing to pay $10 a share for the company back then in 2019. The business has fundamentally transformed since 2019. It's not a student loan company anymore. So you could argue, since 2019, you were going to buy it as a student loan company. Now the company has Technesis, Galileo. They've grown revenue 40% year over year. And that's at $6 billion. SoFi is also stupid. I wouldn't disagree. I just feel like Robinhood's stupid as well, So we'll see. Nate says, are delinquencies going to affect people with a 750 credit score? I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't think so, but the market thinks it is, or maybe that's whatever reason the market thinks it could affect SoFi is for why the market's not giving it a premium. SoFi trades at a price to book of 1.2. On average, price to books are, a little bit higher than that. So I don't know. I guess the market is concerned a little bit about rising delinquencies and what that might do to SoFi. Netflix at 472, SLG 3364, Shopify 69, Pinterest at 31. Pinterest has maintained its earnings momentum. It was up 20%. Pinterest continues to be up 20%. Let's check on Palantir. Palantir 2153. Look at that. Going back to 52-week highs. Absolutely incredible, bro. Just insane. Like, it's just the momentum is there and it's not stopping. It's just not stopping at all. $21.55. This is absolutely incredible. Like, who the hell is buying? I don't know. I want to say it's institutional because it's like this level of volume that's coming in is just exciting, but it also might just be a shit ton of retail being like, you know what? We don't care. We're holding the line at $20, $21. Just incredible right now. I don't think it's off the NHS rumors. We didn't get any NHS news, so that's not there. So I wouldn't worry about that. I think it's just people that want to buy the stock, bro. I'm starting to believe that, and it kind of makes sense, right? Everyone cares about Palantir if you're in the Palantir. Like, you're in this, you watch the content, you consume the tweets, like, you're in the world, you watch videos, like, you care about, like, I don't know how, but the level of interest that exists around Palantir is beyond anything I've ever seen in my lifetime in terms of people being interested in something. The only level of interest I've seen of people of someone being interested in something just as much as they've been interested in Palantir is like when I was in college and I was single, and like the girls that were interested in me, it was just like I could not explain how interested they were. I mean, it was just incredible because I broke up with my girlfriend my junior year, and then like the floodgates opened, and like the level of interest I was getting, it was like me at $21.64, new 52-week high. I was just like, I don't know how these girls are this interested in me, but they were. And it was just like, I don't know. It's just like, they just kept coming back to me. So Palantir, look at that. Oh, there's a gap. There we go. 2178. There we go. Whoa, buddy. Do we have to demonetize the stream and get on Taylor Swift? Do we got to do that? Do we got to feel like we're 22 right now? Whoa, that was a lot that just came in. 2150 right back to 2172. That is incredible. Look at Kelly. Kelly didn't put a comment in the chat for the past 50 minutes. And then I say, oh, these girls are interested in it. Now she has the rolling eyes. That's incredible. What is bro saying? Look at this. $21.74. Whoa, buddy. Where did that volume come from? Where did that come from? It was you guys saw that, right? It was at 2150. And then I made the joke, which, sorry, it wasn't a joke. It was the actual objective fact about the interest I had with girls in college. And then that thing just jumped. So I think, Palantir and I are very congruent. I mean, it jumped the exact way that it jumped with my story. Look at that, 2160s. The market doesn't care, bro. $47 billion market cap, 10.24 million shares. The market doesn't give a crap about the insider selling. The market doesn't give a crap about the insider selling. Oh my, short squeeze. Maybe short squeeze. Could be short squeeze, or it could just be more retail coming in. Or more toots, bro. That move felt like it was some toots. That move felt like it was some toots. Amit relating the stock market to his previous love life, name a better duo. We got to relate it to the love life. You know what I'm saying? Current love life, previous love life. It is what it is. But stock market, $21.55 on Palantir. Absolutely insane momentum. It's back down to $21.55, but you guys saw that, right? It broke to $21.82 real quick. Look at that, 52-week high, $21.85. It's factored in on Webull. I don't know if you guys can see it, but $21.85 right there. Damn. That's just like, even me, I'm like, goodness, great. That is intense volume. That is a lot. That is a lot of volume. So I think it shows a couple things. Number one, I think there's a couple of things that could be leading to this. Let's analyze this a little bit. Number one, NHS deal is not out yet. It's probably going to be coming out soon. So there might be some anticipation for that NHS news. So that's one of the reasons why Palantir could be gapping up a little bit higher. Number two is NVIDIA earnings, right? NVIDIA earnings are coming out later today. So if the market's expecting NVIDIA to do well, maybe the market's expecting Palantir to do well. Where is NVIDIA right now? Where is NVIDIA? NVIDIA's at 503. Holy crap. That might be the reason, folks, because NVIDIA was negative in the pre-market, and now it's like basically positive. I know it's red right now, but yesterday ended at 504. It came up to 505. I think I see what's happening. If maybe my analysis is elementary here, but in general, when sectors are going up, you see all the companies in that sector start to get a little bit of a boost. So look, I can bet Datadog is going to be green right now. Datadog, let's see. Okay, it's basically green. It's down 0.32%. That's basically flat. Let's see Snowflake. I think Snowflake would be green. Snowflake is green. There we go. I think that green is I think the algorithms really made that move on Palantir, and a lot of volume came in because if NVIDIA crossed 500, that means a lot of these other tech stocks are just going to get some more money. They're just going to get some more momentum. That's just going to happen. So I think we're seeing that. Palantir got the NHS contract. No, they did not. I mean, they did, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. It hasn't been officially announced. Or maybe I didn't see it. If you have a link, put it in the chat. But from everything I'm looking at, there's no, read the news. Is it actually out? I'm going to type in Palantir NHS. Let's see. Maybe that's the reason why we pumped Palantir NHS. It would be crazy if it's breaking today. No, we didn't get it, guys. We didn't get it. It's not there. It's not there yet. Unless you guys have a better link. I don't see it. I don't see it yet. Yeah, I don't see it yet. So send me a link. If you guys see it, send me a link. All right, Palantir falling now, $21.20. So we had some fun at $21.85. Is NVIDIA falling as well? Yeah, NVIDIA's falling a little bit now. I think NVIDIA and Palantir are trading together, bro. And it's not just because it's like NVIDIA and Palantir. It's because this broader money that's flowing into these AI names, like the way, from what I understand, a lot of these algorithms, they correlate these names together. Like if NVIDIA goes up, AMD goes up, If JP Morgan goes up, Bank of America goes up. Like a lot of these names are, quite frankly, I don't want to say it, but they're manipulated, right? We know they're manipulated. And so Palantir now falling pretty badly, $21.18 from that $21.85 high. So it got pumped up a lot and then it got sold. Oh, Gergevin reported it. But does he have a real source or does he just, let's see. Gergevin. NHS. No, he doesn't even have a source, bro. He just, dude, I could have tweeted this and it would have done well. People would have been like, "Oh, yeah, like no, we don't. Where's the report?" Oh, well, hold on. Let me push back on that. He does have access to the Bloomberg terminal. I forgot. He has access to the Bloomberg terminal. So if he probably is seeing it from the terminal. See, but I don't want to tweet it until we actually have I want to see like a good article before I tweet it. Yeah, because I don't have the Bloomberg terminal, so I can't be like, "Oh my God, we got it." But has Palantir put out a Guardian article out of it? Okay, I can trust the Guardian article. There's that. Guardian. Let's go to the Guardian right now. At least I have a source for that versus I'm just saying, oh yeah, I looked at my Bloomberg terminal that doesn't exist. Oh, there it is. All right, it's out, folks. It's out. There it is. That's why we saw the momentum just now. There it is. It is official. Here we go. Let's do this together. Here we go. 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 Here we go, baby. This is it. We got it. Patient privacy fears as U.S. spy tech firm Palantir wins a £400 million NHS contract. NHS England has given Palantir and its partner Accenture a 5-year contract to set up and operate the federated data platform. This software will allow individual health service trusts as well as the NHS's 42 integrated care systems, regional groupings of trust to talk to each other digitally. We got it, folks. We got it. We have got the deal. We have got the deal. The deal is in. We got the deal. Palantir stock is selling off on the news at down 2%. The stock is selling off. Oh boy. All right. So let me tweet this. Let me tweet this as well. So let's tweet this together. We're going to tweet this together. This is going to be one of those tweets you want to tweet. All right, here we go. So you guys can see this, right? So let's write this in real time. Of course, Kelly is right under this. All right, here we go. Palantir breaking. The UK's NHS has officially, that's not useful, has awarded Palantir what's 480 million pounds? 480 million pounds to dollars. 480 million pounds to dollars. That is what? I want to get this right. $601 million. Okay. Has awarded Palantir a $600 million contract to digitally to modernize, to completely transform their healthcare system. Yeah, something like that. Their healthcare system. We're going to find some picture to tweet with this as well. Let me go to this article as well, read a little bit more from this, and then we'll go back to the tweet. The NHS has caused controversy by handing them the $480 million platform. NHS England says patients will not be allowed to opt out. Whoa, that's big news. That's big news. NHS will not be allowed to opt out. That's crazy. So, oh my God. So the whole concern about the deal was that that patients are going to opt out if they're afraid of Palantir. Now the NHS is like, nope, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to opt out. You're going to anonymize the data, but you cannot opt out. That's incredible. So the NHS must have thought, holy crap, if we give this deal to Palantir, people are going to be sad about it, or people are going to, opt out of the data. Now they're not even letting them. If you're just joining, we got the deal, folks. We got the freaking deal. Palantir has won a NHS deal that has to do with that ultimately has to do with retransforming the entire digital architecture of the NHS when it comes to making their healthcare better, making their healthcare a lot more stronger. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. I found the thumbnail I want to put on this bad boy, and we're going to tweet this sucker out. This is a tweet I've been waiting to tweet for a very, very long time. I've been waiting for a while to do this one. And it seems like we're going to get our chance right now. Here we go. Let's put this up here. Let's do this. There's the photo. My camera died while I'm doing this. We got the deal, folks. What are you thinking about the deal? I mean, this is absolutely incredible. This is a big win for shareholders. It's going to be a fun daily Palantir episode today. Breaking: the UK's NHS has awarded Palantir a $600 million contract to completely transform their healthcare system. Palantir has been bidding for this contract for the past 2 years. And although many advocates campaigned against the company winning, the NHS has awarded the deal to them in hopes of finally fixing their healthcare system. Do I want to even write all that? I don't even think I want to write all that. That's a little bit too much. Let's just do that. Breaking: the UK's NHS has awarded Palantir a $600 million contract to completely transform and modernize their healthcare infra. Yeah, let's just do it the other way. Let's do it that way. All right, here we go. That's it. We're putting it out. It's going out into the world. Boom. It's out. It's out. It's out. It's out. It's out. There we go, folks. There we go. It's out. We got the deal. Now, let me see the stock real quick. Okay, stock is sold off pretty dramatically. Let's go to the stock. Wow, stock is sold off. Holy crap, the stock is sold off. Look at that. Whoa, the stock is down. This was a typical sell the news. I think we all knew it would be a sell the news. Look, we got a lot of people that bought in yesterday. $20.70 down 3% on the day. Macro is down a little bit, so obviously Palantir is going to be down, but it's a sell the news. It's absolutely a sell the news. What was interesting, that spike up that we saw from 21 up to from 21 like 40 up to 21.80. We saw that happen in like 3 seconds. We hit a new 52-week high of 21.85. That was probably when the news hit the radar and a bunch of algorithms were like, oh my God, $680 million, blah, blah, blah. We got to buy the stock. It's like, you know, we got to get into it. Now it's more so, wait a second. We digested the news. We understand the news. And so now, you know, we got to sell it off because the news was already baked in. So that is down. It is slash. It's only 330 million. No, it's for the 2-year extension is what gives it those extra 2 years. So it's 330 million for 5 years, and then the extra 2 years you get the extra 200 million pounds for Palantir. So it's kind of like a 7-year contract. Amit, how do you think Palantir will show improvement in the NHS? Okay, so let's talk about this. For those that don't know what's going on with the NHS contract, it's really important to understand the implications of this. Forget the money right now. The money to me is irrelevant when it comes to the contract. The contract, the $600 million, it's going to be a dent in the bucket in the broader scheme of things as Palantir continues to grow. The money doesn't matter with this contract. Let me zoom into my face and see you guys and talk to you about this because this is a big deal. 1,000 people, thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you have always been with the channel, we got the deal, folks. We got the NHS contract. Let's ring the bell one more time before we talk about it. We got the deal. Okay, why does this deal matter? I've been covering this deal and trying to understand this deal for the past 2 years. This deal is basically saying, hey, we're the United Kingdom. We are a capitalist country, but we have some socialist values. And one of those socialist values is that we think everyone deserves healthcare. We don't believe in the private healthcare system that the United States has. We believe that everyone deserves healthcare. They deserve that right. Okay, so we're going to give it to everyone for free. If we're going to give it to everyone for free, well, that means that it's got to be effective. And the problem is when you do something for free, it's not that effective, i.e. OpenAI being a quote unquote nonprofit, right? Things get in the way. So in order to make it effective, my belief has always been that technology is the middleman to make things better, right? So if you're not going to have the free market and private interest and kind of intrinsic human nature fight to make something good, then you've got to have technology become the middleman. So technology has been the solution or has been the ideal solution for the NHS for the past 2 years. The problem is they haven't been able to procure the right solution in a way that could get the job done. So they've spent $10 billion on legacy IT infrastructure over the past 20 years, and it has resulted in a system that has a crap ton of backlogs, a lot of wait times, massive amounts of inefficiencies, a non-integrated approach between all the different hospitals and trusts across the entire UK. They call hospitals trusts there to be able to digitally communicate with each other. And I'm not just saying this because I read some articles. I've spoken to a lot of people that are from the UK, whether they're in my comments. I did a podcast with that girl, Haley, who basically gave her experience. And she was like, dude, this shit sucks. Like my mom, she had to schedule something. She had to wait 2 months to get a regular checkup. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like you can't say you care about healthcare and everyone deserves a right to healthcare. And then people can't get a checkup for 2 months. Are you insane? Like you can't have those types of philosophical values and then the actual implementation of those values mean nothing. It's kind of like someone saying I have big dreams and then you don't execute on the dreams. Like you got to fucking do shit. You have to put the pieces together to be able to figure this thing out. So at the end of the day, Palantir basically came in during the COVID vaccine problem or the COVID vaccine distribution situation, right? The pandemic when they needed vaccine and databases and all that stuff and said, look, give us £1. We'll do the whole thing for you. We'll make everything perfect. And then NHS was like, all right, if it's only going to be £1, we'll give you £1. They gave him Palantir £1. And Palantir with that £1 literally dominated the whole COVID problem, creating the databases, integrating all that stuff. And they started creating a relationship with the NHS that got them a $30 million deal, then a $50 million deal, then a $20 million deal. They just got deal after deal after deal after deal. And then the NHS was like, all right, we need to transform our entire healthcare system. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, he's a techno optimist. He believes in changing things. He believes in making things better and stronger and like believing in the good of humanity. He's different from the previous leadership. He got to know Alex Karp really well. They were at baseball games together. And ultimately, I think Karp convinced them, hey, if you want your legacy to matter for the NHS, for the broader, ecosystem around the UK and how they perceive you, you need to get the job done. You need to get the job done. And Palantir right now, $20.74. At the end of the day, that is what Palantir was able to do by getting this deal done. They were able to convince the UK that, look, this is a really important deal. This matters, and we deserve to win this contract. And as a result of that, they got the deal. Now, the problem is, let me pull up to the stock and I'll talk a little bit more about what we've been through over the past 2 years. The problem is Palantir is referred to as a spy tech data company that's going to steal your data. So the British media, Palantir right now down to 70 cents. The British media basically demolished Palantir, right? They were like, no, you're not allowed to just come to the UK and take all of our data and do all this stuff, right? Like, you just can't do that. And so, Palantir had to deal with a lot of interests that were going against Palantir to try to get this deal done. And overall, what I've been doing when it comes to content and what the people have been doing in terms of contracts, in terms of content creators, we've been looking at all these different things that have happened. And we saw that the media argument against Palantir was this stupid narrative that they're going to steal your data, when in reality, Palantir doesn't give a shit about stealing your data. They're not going to monetize it with advertising. Like, it was just this horrible narrative. And so Karp did the BBC interview a couple of weeks ago. Karp had to go in a bunch of different places. He had to argue against all these proponents. Foxglove, this non-profit media entity funded by George Soros, has been launching campaigns, literally Twitter bots that tweet the same thing, that Palantir is evil all the time. Like, the shit we've seen as a community. And for us to finally get this deal, it means a lot, because at the end of the day, when I say we, if you're invested in the company, this is all of us. All of us are all of us have to deal with this, right? All of us are ultimately getting this deal. So it's been a long time coming, been an absolutely long time coming, but we got the freaking deal. And that's why it's so important. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the implications of the deal in a second. Let me read something from here. Matthew Taylor, the chief executive of the NHS Confederation, said the platform would be game-changing. He said clinicians will be able to access live data of available theater slots, staff availability, and individual patient data suitable for particular procedures at a touch of a button. It could also help the NHS improve waiting times for treatment. He also warned that the NHS's unhappy previous history of trying to bring its huge stores of data together could mean it struggles to convince the public of its potential benefits. We know, like its predecessors, that the FTP for some patients will create fear of data privacy and access, and that giving permission will lead to different alarming concerns. One of the things that's interesting about this is that it says NHS England says patients will not be allowed to opt out of putting their data into the federated data platform. That is a big deal. The biggest concern was that people will opt out and then the platform will become worthless because the platform has no data. The NHS is saying, nope, you're not allowed to opt out. You're not allowed to opt out. This is this is a lot of news coming back and forth on what's going on. Palantir down almost 3%. Kelly says, sell the news is so dumb. We all kind of thought it would sell off, right? We all kind of thought, because it was baked in. So, if Palantir was rallying at 22.23 off this news and we got even more of a premium, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. So when we saw the jump from 21.40 to 21.85, and then I made that phenomenal metaphor, soliloquy, analogy, whatever you want to call it, about my college love life and the interest. You guys remember that joke I made like 30 minutes ago? That's when I just have to remind you about it. That thing, when we saw that spike up 40 cents within like 3 seconds, that was because this news hit the Bloomberg terminal and the algorithms got excited. And then the algorithms were like, wait a second, maybe this news is already baked in, and then it sold off, right? When is Titan news coming? I think it's probably going to come next year. I don't think it's going to come this year. Remember, Palantir talked about Titan, which is a $1.5 billion contract. On the earnings call, they mentioned it. So they're obviously still in the running. They're going to win it, or they're going to win half of it with Raytheon. So they're likely going to get some part of that contract, but that's going to come out next year. I doubt it's going to come out this year. Okay. Why is this news important for Palantir writ large? If we solve the UK's NHS problem, there are other healthcare systems from where do you call it? From all across the world that are European, that also have socialized healthcare systems. Those socialized healthcare systems are also not as efficient as private healthcare systems. So, in my opinion, Palantir and the healthcare vertical is going to be one of the largest verticals for this company over the next 10 years. If you solve a broken healthcare system for 70 million people, like, that's not a joke, bro. 70 million people's healthcare relies on Palantir, not Amazon, not Google, not Microsoft, not Snowflake, not the dog that has data, not Databricks. not some, Oracle, not Cloudflare, not Salesforce. It's Palantir. The company that's valued under all of those companies in terms of valuation. It's the smallest out of all those companies, is managing the entire healthcare system. What that means is that proves a moat for Palantir. That proves a differentiated software for Palantir. That proves a product that is fundamentally unreconstructible because there's a lot of patents involved, that ontology that Palantir's created. Like, you just don't create things like that and implement them at scale the way Palantir does. Also, Palantir's relationship with the UK government. The UK has a lot of money. They're going to be willing to allocate a lot of money. Palantir makes almost $1.2 billion a year from the US government. Imagine if we start to get something close to $500-600 million a year from the UK government. And then because we're doing this with the UK government, Sweden pulls up and is like, hey, Palantir, can you fix our healthcare system? Denmark, hey, Germany, hey, can you fix ours? And all these other European nations start fixing their healthcare systems with Palantir. On top of that, Palantir got a $91 million contract with the UK Ministry of Defense. Why do you think they got that contract? Because they fixed their COVID vaccine distribution problem. Like, their ability to integrate and be so sticky with all these different government clients and just get their hands in there and then grab these contracts. And then that revenue is never going away. This NHS deal, if we didn't get it, would have implications far beyond for the next decade. Palantir missing out on a lot of international government revenue. And I think we're getting a lot of that revenue because Palantir was able to get this deal. So that is why this deal is so important. And ultimately, that's why, Palantir got this contract. Palantir now down $20.86, down 2.3%. So we are seeing it come down a little bit on this news. It's being sold up. Amid stock going up, so news wasn't baked in. I mean, well, the stock is down today, so I think the news was baked in. It is up a little bit from where it was like 20 minutes ago. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Look, maybe the market digests the news and it gets it back to 21. Maybe the market's like, you know what? This is too much, and it sells off below. I have no idea. At this point, price action on Palantir, it is very hard to kind of predict it. So we're going to see how it ends up playing out. Algos trading, I agree. Are we selling off since the deal is smaller, 330 over 7 years and not 5? I don't know where you guys are seeing that 330 over 7 years, because the Guardian is reporting 480 million pounds. Can someone send me a link? Because I don't think that's true. You might be seeing something incorrectly. From what I'm seeing on the reports, I'm seeing a $600 million contract. So maybe I'm wrong, but send me a link. Someone send me a link if it's not $600 million, and we'll see. It's always been rumored to be 600 million as well. So I doubt they would slash it by 200 million for like no reason. 20 is the new 15. Hopefully 20 might be the new 15. Send me the link. For those that are saying the deal was slashed, send me a link. Don't just put it in the chat. I need to actually see the link, because if I need to see the source for you guys to say that. And also the NHS site may say 330 because it's for the initial couple years, whereas the 2 years that are being extended increases in more. But let me see. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Tesla is up today. So Tesla is up. Tesla's doing great, up 2.9%. So Tesla's doing fine. Google is up. Look at that. Where's Microsoft? Is Microsoft up, or is Microsoft still dealing with the drama? I'll get to back to Palantir in a second. Microsoft is down today. Google is up. I've not sold any of my Google, even though, Google's been disappearing for the past couple of weeks, but I think Google will be fine. Meta is down. PayPal is down. S&P. Oh, wow. S&P is down 452. And then SoFi down 658, Amazon 143, Palantir 2094. Palantir trying to inch its way back up to $21. Let's see if it gets there. $21, $20.95. Nasdaq at 14,000, Google at 138. All right, so I mean, we're seeing some momentum here. Yeah, guys, 330 pounds is 566 million USD. Bloomberg also has the news out. I think the NHS website might be just the basic deal, not the extra deals extended. So that might be something to think about as well. It's not 330 because Accenture got some. No. Accenture and Palantir are sharing this deal. So they wouldn't say 330 because Accenture gets the other 200. Like, it would be a one deal, and then I don't know how Palantir and Accenture splits it, but they're going to split it. That's the other thing. The reason I'm not like super crazy about the money, I honestly, it could be 330. It could be 500. I don't give a shit about the money, quite frankly. I really don't care. Like, I've been very concerned. I have never cared about the money we're getting from this deal. Maybe it adds 2% top line revenue growth. Maybe. And that's also how you annualize it. When they recognize the revenue, when they not recognize the revenue, do they push the revenue back? Like, I don't care about the money. I care about in the next 2 years, the NHS gets to say, we don't have weight logs
We don't have wait times and backlogs anymore. Honestly, we could do this deal for $1 and I wouldn't care as a shareholder. I'm saying this with all honesty because the money is irrelevant here. Like, this is why I just spent 10 minutes trying to explain, if we solve this problem, like, this is the thing I love about Palantir. They solve the hardest shit and then they move forward. If you solve this problem, the floodgates of healthcare opens. Remember, healthcare is a $4 trillion industry, and Shyam Sankar 2 years ago said Palantir is the most undervalued healthcare startup on the market. The reason for that is because Palantir is powering 16% of beds in the United States. Palantir is powering entire supply chains around the healthcare infrastructure with Concordance and Cardinal Healthcare. I mean, there's just so many things. Tampa General Bay, Cleveland Clinic, the stuff they're doing in healthcare. CNBC did a 20-minute long article on them a couple months ago on what they're doing in healthcare. It's just phenomenal. It's just a lot of work. So I don't really care about the money. The money's irrelevant to me. To me, what matters is getting the deal. We got the deal done. That's all that matters. And now that deal has to just turn into more deals at the end of the day. Imnop says S&P heat map looks nothing like a Christmas tree. Oh, man. The money is irrelevant on this one. It really is. I mean, you won't hear a lot of people say that, but the money does not matter, bro. It's not like it's some $2 billion contract. The money is just something that had to be negotiated. I mean, the amount of money Palantir probably spent on lobbying this deal is probably in the tens of millions, right? So it's not like the money is that exciting. What is exciting is that in the face of all adversity, in the face of all these propagandists claiming that Palantir is going to steal your data, they're going to, it's going to be 1984. It's like, in the face of all that stupid shit, Palantir wins and they get the deal. And so that's why this deal was so exciting for Palantir. All right. I believe that is it for me, folks. We are done for today. Thank you all for being here. NHS contract. Let's take one last look at Palantir price action, and then we'll be done for today. Palantir obviously down because of being sold off on the news, but the news is really good, so I'll take it. $20.99, fighting back for that $21 range. So even though it got sold off, there is momentum to come back and try to get and retain $21. Today is going to be a battle between 20 and 21. Yesterday was a battle of like 21.30 and 21.50. Today's a battle of 20 and 21. And maybe if we crack through 21, we get back to that 52-week high. But right now, I think we're going to have to see where volume goes. Volume is 27 million shares trading hands. So we'll see over the next couple of hours where we want to go and where we want to take it. Ultimately, the market's still happy at $20. It's not sold off to 1918. The market's excited. The market's happy that, it's at these levels and it's willing to give them these levels, even if it's not going past 21 yet. Let's do word of the day, and then we are done for today. Thank you, 913 people, for being here. Please make sure you subscribe and like the stream if you could be so nice to do so. It means a lot. And we'll keep doing the market open every single day till the day I die. Troy says, thanks, Amit. You're the man. Thank you for all your research. Thank you, Troy, as well. We talked about the insider selling. Yes, go to 4 minutes on the live stream. Once it's done, that'll be the timestamp. We talked about all the insider selling. Talked about that. Finagle. I know this word. To get or achieve something by trickery or manipulation. Finagle. So, I would argue that Palantir did not finagle their way into this NHS deal. It took 2 years for them to really prove to the UK public that, I think the UK NHS already knew that Palantir was like supposed to get the deal, but they had to prove to the public they're not going to see your data, all this stuff. So even though the media may be framing Palantir as finagling their way into this deal, I don't think Palantir did. I think Palantir had the best software in the world, the best technology in the world. And ultimately, at the end of the day, getting this deal means that we are going to fundamentally change the NHS. We're going to change what happens for healthcare systems writ large across the entire world. And that it's going to matter a lot long-term for the trajectory of this company. Managing 70 million people's healthcare data, not Microsoft, not Google. Palantir is the company that is doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the deal. A lot more updates, a lot more content coming. I'll have my daily episode today be dedicated to this subject, and we'll discuss more what's going on in the world of Palantir. But they got the deal. They got the deal. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Please like and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. I said writ large just to take some of you guys off on that one. That one was intentional. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the market open, and we'll be back. Finance Junkies, 9 p.m. today. By the way, Wednesday, we're doing a Thanksgiving special for Finance Junkies, okay? So Wednesday, Finance Junkies, if you are not subscribed, make sure you do that. Let me just put it in the chat. Sometimes I forget to do that. Finance Junkies, Wednesday, we are doing a Thanksgiving special since we can't meet on Thursday. Bring your best food. Bring your best drinks. I'll bring my Gatorade. Oh, Kelly, I just saw your emojis. Yes, drinking emojis. Exactly, because we drink all the time. So we and we're going to be eating live. It'll be a mukbang. So we're going to be eating. And we're going to be eating live Wednesday. Finance Junkie is going to be super fun, super exciting. And we'll be talking and eating about life, even if we just don't talk about stocks. It'll be a fun one. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys later today. And we'll be back tomorrow on the Market Open. We got the deal, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.